From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network, Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for April 6, 2017. I'm Seth Hawk.
And I'm Sarah Singletary. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tomorrow night, students will put on their walking shoes to join in the fight against cancer in the annual Troy University Relay for Life. On your mark, get set, relay. On Friday, April 7th, Trojans one and all will rally together and Relay for Life, an event designed to raise money for the American Cancer Society. This year, Troy University's on-campus organizations are dreaming of a world without cancer, a theme they're tying into their fundraising efforts.
Well, I've asked each of them to pick out a child's book and play off that theme because the overall theme is dreaming of a world without cancer. So many of them have picked books like Dr. Seuss or The Little Engine That Could, and they are creating fundraisers.
And while fundraising is essential to Relay for Life, Dudinsky says she hopes participants will take away something more.
I am hoping to raise our goal fundamentally, which is $21,500, and give everyone an appreciation for the American Cancer Society and what they do for patients and where all this money is going. And hopefully everyone will appreciate the event and it will touch them all in a personal way.
Dudinsky herself has been touched in a personal way by the American Cancer Society and shares with us why she relays.
My father and many of my family members are cancer survivors, so I've always been involved with Relay for Life, but now it has a more personal significance as I am relaying for people like my father who have received assistance from the American Cancer Society and many others across our nation.
Relay for Life is tomorrow from 6 to 11 p.m. on the Shackelford Quad.
Troy University is home to students from around the world, but Troy also sends American students overseas as well. Students interested in studying abroad learned about options at a fair this afternoon. Kyle Shook has the story.
The Study Abroad Club hosted a fair on campus to inform students about the possibilities of studying overseas. Members of the club created posters and baked goods to promote studying abroad.
We're trying to raise money for a scholarship we're doing to help get students to go abroad. And this is just to help for the scholarship, and we got some of our international students and students on Troy to help bake cookies, and we're just trying to sell them to raise the money. We had the Swedish chocolate, which is what Miss Maria made, and then one of our German students, Sabrina, she made the German chocolate cake.
Troy has various partner schools across the globe for students to attend. With these schools being partnered with Troy, students will pay tuition towards Troy University. In addition, Troy scholarships students already have can be applied to studying abroad. The Study Abroad Club also has scholarships available, and there's no limit on the scholarships people can apply for and receive.
We have what's called the Global Competitiveness Scholarship, which is the Chancellor Scholarship. That's the lowest one we offer, which is $750. Most people just use this one for, buying the airline ticket or something like that. And the requirement for that one is at least have a 2.5 GPA or higher.
Not sure if your major would be worth studying abroad? Stevens has an answer for that as well.
We have programs for so many majors, like from business to hospitality management to STEM classes, your science and technology classes, computer science, things like that.
Students can study abroad for 1 month, 1 semester, or even 1 year. Kyle Shook, Troy, TrojanVision News.
If you missed today's fair but are still interested in learning about studying abroad options, you can visit Maria Frigge in her office in Hawkins Hall, room 037. All this week, Troy Public Radio is asking for financial support to help get listeners' favorite programming on the air through their Spring Fund Drive.
However, in addition to some of the national programming the station offers, there is some local talent getting valuable experience. Arik Roberts explains.
Many people know about the Tropolitan and TrojanVision News here at Troy University. Many people may not know about Troy Public Radio, which is stationed here at Wallace Hall on Troy University's main campus, which gives students experience being on air and something to add to their resume.
The role of the students here primarily is to produce the Talk of Troy, which is like our 4-minute weekly news roundup of news and events that are going on at Troy University. Another role of the students is to produce features, and they're two-way for their internship And these are assignments as much as establishing their portfolio for them to move on after they're done here at Troy and to go work in the field and to go get a job.
Student interns get hands-on experience by gathering their own stories, writing their own scripts, going through the editing process, recording, and mixing the story together before it hits the airwaves.
It's great. You get to learn how to do everything you need to do. We are called second-generation producers here, so we learn how to interview subjects and edit our interviews to go on air. Everything here is hands-on.
Troy Public Radio interns such as Nashay will have to use recorders like these every single day on the job. And in the real world, sometimes things don't pan out the way you want them. So interns must face problems just like real reporters would in the real world.
The most difficult thing is like maybe when you have interviewed someone and everything is done and the system stops working. I've had that happen and I had to recall the person to redo an interview, but luckily she came with no problem. But if she would have been out of town, I would have been just out of luck.
Troy Public Radio is having its fund drive this week to raise money for the station. Eric Roberts, Troy TrojanVision News.
If you'd like to make a donation to Troy Public Radio's fund drive, you can make a pledge by calling them at 1-800-800-6616 or by going online to troypublicradio.org. The fund drive runs through Saturday.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Welcome back. Entering Tuesday night's matchup between the Tide and Trojans at Riddle Pace, the Tide held a slight 4-3 advantage at that same location after a 2-1 victory last year. Now, Tuesday night, Troy evened up that record to 4-4 and in front of a record crowd that had previously been set against the Tide back in the 2016 season. The game went to the bottom of the ninth, and Sarah Drake captured what happened next.
I'm really proud of the win, obviously. When you have a dramatic ninth inning walk-off, it doesn't really matter who you're playing. The fact that it was Alabama and a huge crowd makes it even more dramatic, I suppose.
The Troy baseball team welcomed the Crimson Tide of Alabama into Riddle Pace Field for a thrilling 12-11 victory on Tuesday night. 5 different Trojans had multiple hits to help with the 14-hit performance.
Oh man, everybody battled tonight. That's what you call a complete team win. Everybody battled. Drew Frederick battled 2 strikes, had 2 big hits that got inning started for us. Like the inning that we tied the game, he had a big hit that started up, and then the inning that we took the lead, he had a big hit to start us up. And then Steve, 2 great bunts. Great punch.
Coach Smart also talked about his concerns in the top of the 7th inning when Alabama scored 5 times.
I was concerned, quite frankly, because that was a terrible inning from us. We walked 2, we hit 2, they had a couple of base hits, and they get 5 with 3 wild pitches in the inning. We didn't execute very well. But I really thought after that inning, our team, they took a punch in the gut and they regrouped, and I thought they finished like a championship-type club should.
Matt Sanders went 3 for 5 on the night with 2 RBIs, but his biggest RBI came in his last at-bat when he sent the Tide home packing. But the at-bat didn't start the way he wanted it to.
Well, I got down to 2 strikes. I really wasn't trying to do that, but once I got there, I tried to battle. I got a good pitch to hit, and I put it in play. It worked out. I guess I didn't come through my previous 2 at-bats, so I just really wanted to come through in the last one.
The Trojans' next game will be Friday against Georgia Southern. Sarah Drake, Troy TrojanVision Sports.
Following the Trojans' dramatic win, they turn around and prepare for our weekend home series against Georgia Southern. The Trojans will enter Friday night's game with run totals of 13 and 12 in their last 2 games. Let's stick with the Golden Eagles, but switch up the sport to women's tennis. The Eagles are the birds of prey for the Trojans this week as Troy travels to Mobile for Sun Belt Conference action. But as the conference tournament approaches, the seedings are really still up in the air, as head coach Rawia El-Sisi explains.
So if we win the next 2 matches, we're gonna stay up in the top 4 for sure. Now, if we beat Georgia Southern, and then we got South Alabama is gonna be a close match again, then we don't really know who's in the top 4 yet. Go to top 6. We want to stay in the top. We would like to stay in the top 5.
The Trojans will battle it out with the Golden Eagles on Saturday in Mobile. First service early, so rise and shine for that 8 a.m. start. And speaking of early, they say it's better to be early than late, right? Well, there's some members on the track and field team that have already qualified for nationals. So naturally, when about 5 or so of your players qualify for naturals, oh, by the way, which is on May 25th, your first inclination as coach is that you messed up, right? Mark Davis, it's not your fault, man.
First, it was scary because we haven't done as well this early before. So I went back and started looking at training logs, see if I had screwed up something in the cycle and things. But, you know, I think they're just adapting to what the system is, and they're really pulling together and doing some good things as a team. So I think that's a big difference. They were very disjointed and divided when I first got here, and it took a little while. But my third year was the time that I said we needed to achieve some things, and we're starting to do that a little bit now.
Adjust those binoculars. Nationals are off in the distance, but the Bill Carson Invitational starts this weekend. That's where the track and field team runs next, starting tomorrow.